that's all that counts, right?
Yeah, I mean, the actors I think did a good job. They really did. I think the actors did a good job.
So I'm controlling? Is that what you get out of this?
You're a fucking Capricorn. Every Capricorn is controlling.
Well, how is that my fault? I was born this way.
You're a
Manipulative,
little controlling. I
controlling, just to
mean,
have it his way or the highway. That's a Capricorn.
I don't see you on the 101 right now, so shut up.
speaking of which, listen, there's a lot going on in the Bravo world. Recently it's been announced that Vanderpump Rules, the OG cast, is going away. What do you guys think about this? Thoughts?
I'm sad about it because they worked so hard for 10 freaking years not making any money.
Right.
To try to get to make money for 1 year, one season.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, you want too much money? It's too expensive. Get the hell out. I'm like, really? Just when they were about to pay their mortgages and bills. I'm like, oh no. They're all our friends.
Yeah, and I don't think I just can't see a reboot of Vanderpump working. I don't. It would had this magic sauce from the very beginning, and I can't see them. It's like redoing Friends. You could never redo Friends with a set of six new friends. It's never going to be the same. And Vanderpump, the same thing. It's never going to be the same.
I mean, the fact that the formula, we already know that they're going to be cheating on each other, sleeping with each other, and they're not really servers at the restaurant.
Right.
And then once I lose that context, I'm like, so they're just actors and pretending.
Pretty much.
That doesn't excite me.
Yeah.
And for a reality show, it needs to be more organic and authentic for me, for you to live the truth about the life that you are portraying.
Yeah.
Because that's what we all sign up for when we're doing reality. I mean, a lot of people, our show, Down and Out, is scripted. Not so scripted because
it's scripted. Our show's not scripted.
That's what people say. It's scripted.
It's not.
It's not. It's got a formula, but it's not scripted at all because when they go to the editing room, we don't know what the storyline's going to end up being or what the highlights are, because when you're in the moment, you're just being your true, organic, authentic self. Yeah. So that when they take you out of that context and start manipulating it, or they tell you what to say or what to do or what to focus on or how the storyline's going to be curated, you're thinking to yourself, God, I'm not that good of an actor. I can't get an Academy Award for this because I can only be me, the true me. And that's one of the reasons why when we sign up to do all these shows, like when we were on Vanderpump, we were on how many, like 2 or 3 episodes on the last season.
Yeah.
We were ourselves.
The season before those.
And everybody was themselves because they didn't know what was going on. When we went to the white party and they kicked us out of the table to be able to go sit somewhere else while they put Raquel and Tom to sit and kiss each other, we're looking at this going, okay, what
Tom
the fuck
Schwartz.
Yeah. Like, David, the beginning of the end of Vanderpump was when Raquel did not come back.
Yeah.
Because that storyline was just left and then when she didn't come back and then she started a podcast to talk about it all the time, people were like, why the fuck do we want to listen to you? You didn't come back and play it out and let everybody know what actually happened.
She needed to own up.
Yeah.
Come back.
Yeah.
Salvage friendships.
Correct.
Or at least figure out, have a dialogue with those people that she screwed over.
Yeah.
To identify with the fact that she fucked him over royally in so many different ways.
Yeah.
And then to say, oh, I can't come back for my mental health. Well, what about all the other fucking people mental health that you screwed over with, bitch?
I don't think it was mental health. I think it was money.
Yeah.
That's what I think it was. I don't think it had anything to do with mental health, to be honest.
You think if she came back, the show could have continued?
Yes.
I mean, yes.
100%.
Well, because here's the thing. You would have been able to identify with the fact that she came back to be able to find resolve for the friendship, find resolve in the relationships, find resolve in the love or the non-love that existed. And then from there, pick up the pieces to know where you could go with how each of them were valuable assets to your life for so long. Cared about you, and then you just threw them out like they were nothing.
The Housewives franchises work every time because they tear the fuck out of each other during the season. They have a reunion. They hash it all out. They hug it out at the end. And then they come back for another season on a fresh slate. And that's what Raquel should have done. And she didn't. she decided to go up and do her own thing, which, you know, and her podcast ended.
What's her own thing?
Yeah.
What was her own thing?
Correct.
She created something and walked away from it.
Right.
And yes, I get it. Everybody cheats on everybody, I guess. And that was the storyline from the very beginning. But what she did is a betrayal.
Correct.
That a lot of people don't end up having to suffer through. Because when you're friends with Scheana, she makes you a bridesmaid or a maid of honor over at your wedding. They came into the boutique multiple times. And I told this to Scheana on our podcast, Undressed.
She was a bridesmaid, not a maid of honor.
She was a maid of honor. She was one of the main ones.
Sure.
I told Scheana, I said, I didn't have the heart to break yours when you were going through, when I was making her gown and they were coming to the store, to the boutique. Raquel showed up multiple times. And I told Scheana, I said, I didn't have the heart to tell you that she was not interested.
Right.
It was not in the idea and the space, the headspace of wanting to be there for you. And I didn't want to ruin and pop your bubble and go, oh my God, like your maid of honor is so disinterested in you, so disinterested in what your excitement and love is for the journey that you're on. I didn't have the heart to break it to her. She goes, I'm glad you didn't.
Yeah.
Because if you go back and listen to the podcast, on our podcast, you'd see that she said, Paul, I'm so glad you didn't, because had you told me this, I would have probably sided with her and our friendship would have fractured. Because I care about Scheana. I love Scheana. We've known her for many, many, many years from the very beginning. When she was before she started Vanderpump, she was a hostess at Villa Blanca up the street from my boutique.
Yeah.
So we used to go there regularly because we knew Lisa, and we used to go up there regularly and she used to wait on us. So the friendship was organically real before she started the show.
But here's the thing, from a viewer standpoint and people that got so invested and watched this show, you can't be a main player on television, whether reality, scripted, whatever it is, throw a bunch of grenades in a room and then walk off and then never have an ending or never have a resolution for the people that have invested 10 years of their lives watching you. It wasn't fair to them. It really wasn't fair to them. And it was a very stupidly unbold move for her not to return to the show.
I mean, besides the fact that there were no more dicks to suck, she sucked everybody's dick off.
She would have found more dick. I'm sure though.
Do you think the cast is upset that she left? Because I thought it would have been a great show if she came back. I kind of agree.
I think it would have been not just so much a great show, but it would have been a way for all of them to find the balance in what they lost in the friendship group that she severed. And I think that's what they would have at least been able to find their way back to a space of, it's like any friend group. You want to be able to, okay, so they made a mistake. You recognize the mistake, but how do you resolve it within yourself to be able to know that I can come back to you and say, you know what, maybe I don't want to be friends with you in the same way that I was.
Right.
But I understand what you went through. Maybe I can be there for you. Maybe it could have happened to me. Any one of us could have been in that.
But David, you can't have an ensemble cast because they are an ensemble cast, technically, that doesn't want to film with this one, doesn't want to talk to that one.
That's the problem.
You can't put a show. How do you put a show together when you have so many fractured relationships and the person who started all of those fractures is gone and just watching on the sidelines? And so none of the cast could really resolve those situations and feelings on camera for the audience to watch.
But ultimately, here's the truth. She wasn't invested. Raquel was not invested in any of those people.
When she was in your store, what? She just, like you were saying, let's try on Scheana's dresses, and she was like staring at
the whole time. Probably texting Tom.
She was disinterested. She wasn't supporting her. She wasn't there to be with her.
Yeah.
She wasn't engaged with her. She wasn't helping her. She did nothing. She sat there and she's like, okay, I'm here and whatever. And she was very disinterested. But ultimately, you realize that she was never an organic and true friend to any one of these people because she didn't come back for the money. She should have come back for the friendships. not just for the
she
money.
didn't have any of those, and I think that she took.
But she didn't even.
She took the very.
I would have come back for the money.